Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Oral Communication in Context. We are now at our 11th week, and for this week, our topic is Principles of Speech Writing. For this week, we will explain the components of speech writing, and we will also try to prepare and plan a speech by using the principles of effective speech writing. So let's proceed to our lesson discussion. So, the speech writing process, just like events planning or any other activities, writing an effective speech follows certain steps or processes. The process for writing is not chronological or linear, rather, it is recursive. So, recursive means you have the opportunity to repeat a writing procedure indefinitely or produce multiple drafts first before you can settle on the right one. So we have a figure here. So in the figure that we have the figure and speech writing process. We could see that, let's first discuss this first um, paragraph. We have conducting an audience analysis, determining the purpose of the speech, selecting a topic, narrowing down a topic, and gathering data. Then after you have done this first part, you will now go to the second part, which is selecting a speech pattern, preparing an outline, creating the body of speech, and also preparing the introduction and preparing the conclusion. Then after that, you will go on to your editing or revising or rehearsing, and you may go back again to the first part, which is conducting an audience analysis and so on and so forth. So um, you have the opportunity to repeat a writing procedure indefinitely and produce multiple drafts first before you can settle on the right one. So we could see in the figure the speech writing process. So we have components of the speech writing process. We have audience analysis, and purpose of the speech, the topic, narrow down a topic, data gathering, the patterns, the outline, and body of speech, the introduction, the conclusion, editing, and revising. And the last is rehearsing. So for um, audience analysis entails looking into the profile of your target audience. It is a key factor in writing an effective speech. This is done so you can tailor fit your speech content and delivery to your audience. The profile includes the following information. We have demography. For demography, we have the age, range, male-female ratio, educational background, and the affiliations, or degree program taken, nationality, economic status, academic or corporate designations. Demography has to be known to determine the interests of the audience. It will also affect the language, style, and formality of the speech. Also, for audience analysis, we have to determine the situation. So time, venue, occasion, and size. Situation will highly affect the length of the speech, visual aids, and formality of speech. We also must consider psychology as well. So for this one, the values, beliefs, attitudes, preferences, cultural and racial ideologies, and needs of your audience. Psychology will let the writer know which appeal to use and how to situate his text in the contents of the audience. So these are the following needs that we have to consider. Another component of speech writing that we have is the purpose of the speech. For this one, we need to inform or expose, and an informative or expository speech primary purpose is to present facts and opinions and to provide the audience with a clear understanding of the concept or idea presented by the speaker. It is the speaker's intention to inform the audience blended with the desire to make them believe in his information or expose say. So examples that we have here is classroom lecture, demonstration talk, explanations of procedures, techniques, system, values, and so on and so forth. Another purpose of the speech that we have is to entertain. An entertainment speech provides the audience with amusement. It is telling the audience that I one are injected to light-hearted or funny stories. The usual occasions for this kind of speaking are dinners and social meetings. Humorous stories or anecdotes are injected to make the audience laugh. So examples of entertainment speech is usually after dinner speeches and travelogues. And another purpose of speech is to persuade. Usually, a persuasive speech provides the audience with well-argued ideas that can influence their own beliefs and decisions. When a speaker wishes the audience to do something about the situation he presents, and he will not be content unless he gets a definite, overt response from the audience. A speaker must be able to convince his audience, and he asks his audience to accept his arguments and opinions and to accept a particular belief. So example for this one is sales stock solicitations for subscription or membership to an organization. Also campaign for political causes and so on and so forth. So these are some purposes of speech. Next that we have is the topic. And for this one, the topic is the focal point of your speech, which can be determined once you have decided on your purpose. If you are free to decide on a topic, choose one that really interests you. There are a variety of strategies used in selecting a topic, such as using your personal experiences, discussing with your family members or friends, free writing, listing, asking questions, or semantic webbing. Next one that we have is narrowing down a topic, and it means making your main idea more specific and focused. The strategies in selecting a topic can also be used when you narrow down a topic. And another one that we have, or another component of speech writing, is data gathering. And it is the stage where you collect ideas, information, sources, and references relevant or related to your specific topic. This can be done by visiting the library, browsing the web, observing a certain phenomenon or event related to your topic, or conducting an interview or survey as well. The data that you will gather will be very useful in making your speech informative, entertaining, or persuasive. Another component that we have is patterns. So in general, these are structures that will help you organize the ideas related to your topic. Example of pattern that we have is biographical. So it presents description of your life or of a person, whether it's famous or not. Also, we have categorical or topical. So it presents related categories supporting the topic. So another pattern that we have is casual, and it presents cause-effect relationship. And we have chronological. It presents the idea in time order. And comparison and contrast. It presents comparison and contrast of 2 or 3 points. We have problem solution, and it presents an identified problem, its causes, and recommends solution. And last one is the spatial as well. So these are the different writing pattern forms which we could use and which we could select one best that suits your topic and the purpose of your topic. Next component that we have, so these are example. We have so next component is the outline, I mean. So the outline is a hierarchical list that shows the relationship of ideas. Experts in public speaking state that once your outline is ready, 2/3 of speech writing is finished. A good outline helps you see that all ideas are in line with your main idea or message. The elements of an outline include introduction, body, and conclusion. So in writing your outline, you must base it on how you want your ideas to develop. And we have here examples on how we could have a good outline. Here are some suggested formats. We have the table format and the listed format. In the image we could see we have the table format. So we have here the purpose, specific purpose, topic, pattern, introduction, body, conclusion. So for the list format, we could see that it is in the list form. So we have here a example of suggested format. So next component that we have is the body of the speech, and it provides explanation, examples, or any details that can help you deliver your purpose and explain the main idea of your speech. One major consideration in developing the body of your speech is the focus or central idea. The body of your speech should only have one central idea. Take note of that. And the following are some strategies to highlight your main idea. We have here present real. So present real life or practical examples. Also to show statistics and present comparisons and share ideas from experts or practitioners. So this is um, some strategies to highlight your main idea. We also have here the introduction, and it is the foundation of your speech. So mainly your primary goal is to get the attention of your audience and present the subject or main idea of the speech. Your first few words should do so. So we have another strategies or some strategies for introduction. So you must use real life experience to your subject. You may also use practical examples and explain their connections to your subject. You may also start with familiar or strong quote and then explain what it means. And then for your introduction, you may also use facts or statistics and highlight their importance to your subject or to your topic. Also, another strategy that you may use for your introduction is to tell a personal story to illustrate your point. So this is one component. Another component that we have is the conclusion, and it restates the main idea of your speech. Furthermore, it provides a summary, emphasizes the message, and calls for action. And while the primary goal of the introduction is to get the attention of your audience, the conclusion aims to leave the audience with a memorable statement. So again, for this one, we have some strategies. We have first strategy is to begin your conclusion with a restatement of your message. You may also use positive examples, encouraging words, or memorable lines from songs or stories familiar to your audience. And or you may ask a question or series of questions that can make your audience reflect or ponder. So these are some strategies on how to make a memorable conclusion. Next component that we have is editing and revising. And for this one, written speech involves correcting errors in mechanics such as grammar, punctuation, capitalization, unity, coherence, and others. And according to Andrew Lugan, he is an award-winning public speaker. He listed 6 power principles for speech editing. We have edit for focus, edit for clarity, edit for conclusion, edit for continuity, edit for variety, and edit for impact and beauty. So for focus, you must ensure that everything you have written from introduction to conclusion is related to your central message. And for editing for clarity, so for editing for clarity, you have to make all ideas in your speech clear by arranging them in logical order. So examples given we have is main idea first, then supporting details, or supporting details that first, then main idea. Also, we have to edit for conclusion. So for editing for conclusion, keep your speech short, simple, and clear by eliminating unrelated stories and sentences and by using simple words only. Also, you need to edit for continuity because you need to keep the flow of your presentation smooth by adding transition words and phrases. And for editing for variety, you have to add spice to your speech by shifting tone and style from formal to conversational and vice versa, moving around the stage or adding humor as well. And the last is for impact and beauty because you need to make your speech memorable by using these strategies. What are the strategies? You need to surprise your audience. You need to use vivid descriptive images, and you need to write well crafted and memorable lines and use figures of speech as well. So again, these are the 6 power principles for speech editing by Andrew Logan. We have edit for focus, edit for clarity, edit for conclusion, edit for continuity, edit for variety, and edit for impact and beauty. So once again, so now that we have done the editing and revising component, the last component is rehearsing, and it gives us the opportunity to identify what works and what does not work for you and for your target audience. Some strategies include reading your speech aloud, recording for your own analysis, or for your peers or coaches to give feedback on your delivery. The best thing to remember at this stage is constant practice makes perfect. So when you are rehearsing, we have here some quotes. We have practice makes perfect. After a long time of practicing, our work will become natural, skillful, swift, and steady. We also have here another quote: the biggest lie ever is that practice makes perfect. And it is not true because practice makes you better. So these are the components for speech writing. Once again, we have 12 components. We have audience analysis. We have purpose of speech. We have the topic. We have to narrow down a topic. We have data gathering, we have the patterns, and then next is the outline, and then the body of speech, and then the introduction, and next is the conclusion, and then the editing and revising, and then the last one is rehearsing. So these are the components. So we have some guidelines in speech writing. So always keep your words short and simple. Your speech is meant to be heard by your audience, not read. Also, avoid jargon, acronyms, or technical words because they can confuse your audience. Make sure your speech is more personal and use the personal pronoun I, but take care not to overuse it. When you need to emphasize collectiveness with your audience, use the personal pronoun we. Also, another guideline that we have is use active verbs and contractions because they add to the personal and controversial tone of your speech. You need to be sensitive also to your audience, so be careful with your language, jokes, and nonverbal cues. And you may use metaphors as well and other figures of speech to effectively convey your point. And make sure that you manage your time well. Make sure that the speech falls under the time limit as well. So these are some guidelines in speech writing. So for this week's lesson, we have explained the components of speech writing, and we also had discussed some guidelines in speech writing. So once again, uh, the speech writing process, the process of writing is not in chronological or linear, rather it is recursive, and it means that You have the opportunity to repeat a writing procedure indefinitely or produce multiple drafts first before you can settle on the right one, and then remember the components of speech writing process so you may be able to have an effective speech writing, and also take note of some of the guidelines that we have discussed in speech writing. So for this week's lesson, we have some references. So, Oral Communication Context, a textbook for senior high school by Apolonio Joshua from Unlimited Books in Drummers, Manila. We also have Teacher's Manual for Oral Communication in Context for senior high school from DepEd, and then I will just post the website link provided. We also have some suggested readings, and I will just post again or include the website link for that suggested reading. So for this week, we have activity requirement. So we only have one activity. So we have here, uh, for your activity, we have speech planning. And for speech planning, following the speech writing process, prepare and plan a speech to be delivered, not in class, because so as you go along, make sure to fill in the details in the columns with ideas you have decided on. Use separate sheet of paper of your answer. So in your PDFs or in your handouts, we have here some tables. So you may identify your general specific purpose, identify your topic, narrow down your topic, decide how you will gather data. So also it would be up to you if you would want to visit a library or browse the web or just observe or conduct an interview or survey as well. So once you have decided all the necessary data or the relevant information that you needed, then you may go on and identify the speech pattern that you will use. So will it be biographical, categorical, casual, chronological, comparison, contrast, or problem solution? And then after that, you could prepare an outline for your, you may prepare an outline for your speech using any of the formats discussed. Again, we have two suggested formats. We have the table format and the listed format. So you may choose among the two, between the two of the format that we have discussed in the lesson. So once again, if you have any questions regarding this activity, you may directly ask me at school, or you may send me a personal message through Facebook Messenger if you have any clarifications or questions regarding this activity. So for this week's lesson, we had discussed and explained the components of speech writing, and we had also prepared and planned a speech by using the principles of effective speech writing. If you have any questions regarding about the lesson, don't hesitate to ask me. You may ask me directly at school, or you may send me a personal message through Facebook Messenger. So once again, thank you so much, everyone. Before I end this lesson, I would like to say thank you to everyone and share a Bible verse from the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 23. Said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. So thank you so much, everyone, and God bless.